Rockers, we're going to do a quick look at a Marantz 2230B. It's honestly one of my favorite looking Marantzes, and it actually sounds really good too. It actually provided the soundtrack for my New Year's party. I'm not going to play it like sound-wise, but believe me when I tell you it does work, and it works flawlessly. High filter button, I got to repair that. If somebody didn't take care of it the way I expected them to. Signal strength meter, your tuning lines work. That's WMGH 105. 99.1 should be right around here somewhere. That's a local station. Classical, but they broadcast in mono. That's why your stereo light's not coming on. 94.9 might be stereo. That's another local, like a NPR type thing. That's WMMR. It's not strong. All I have for an antenna right now is a little tiny. I probably couldn't get it in stereo though if I played with it a little bit. I'm not really sure. That should be it. But like I said, all I have right now is a little tiny antenna. So it's pretty basic as far as Marantz goes. Although it does have a mid-tone control. I usually keep them flat. Your typical loudness button, your FM muting, which what FM muting does is that makes it to where if your signal is not in stereo, it'll cut it off. It can handle 2 sets of speakers. It can handle a 4 ohm load like the Sherwin Vega AT15s that are pictured under it. If you can see it, I don't know, but I can show them one day too. They're not my speakers. They do sound really good though. They're really loud. Have pretty solid kick-ass bass. The balance slider, which is my preference. I know a lot of people like the knob better. I like the slider better. I know the 2230 is one of the highest regarded ones. I just like the 2230B for looks better, and it has 2 meters for signal and your tuning dial. That's your high filter. Obviously, it cuts out your excessive highs. Mono, you can run it mono or stereo mode, and I can show you that in a second. Let's tune it over to back to WMGH 105.5. And I'll put it in the mono. It has a tape monitor input for tape 1, and tape 2 is a regular input. So you can use that as an auxiliary if you want, or that'll be for like an equalizer if you want to hook an equalizer up, or any kind of Dolby filter or whatever. Tape 2 is just for another tape deck. Back then, I'm sure people probably had an 8-track and a cassette, most likely. Has 1 phono input. I did not try playing any records through it. Like I said, I'm not a big vinyl guy, but I am curious to try it, so I probably will. FM radio and AM radio. I don't know if it has AM stereo capabilities. Some of them do, some of them don't. Like I said, it's in beautiful shape. Just needs a little bit of touching up. Like I said, I got this at, what the hell is it called? Double Decker Records in Allentown for $500. I bought it for my buddy of mine, but I ended up buying it back off of him because he upgraded to a quad unit. My original plan was to put this in the garage, especially being that the tuner works on it, but I really love the sound and the looks of my Pioneer that I have over there. That's the SX9000. Even though the tuner doesn't work, I still have the CD player and the component tuner that I had when I still had my Fisher system hooked up in here. That was a long time ago. I haven't had that hooked up in here in a long time. Take a look at the back of it. I think it went over. Oh, this little Dolby FM switch, I call it the magic switch because it makes your FM stereo sound so freaking good. Like as if FM stereo isn't already one of the best sounding sources there is, in my opinion. It takes it to the total next level with that Dolby switch, in my opinion. Take a look at the back. Of course, it is 30 watts per channel. Just like the 2230 that everybody loves. All right. So if you see, let me zoom in a little bit better here for you if I can. So here's your 2 speaker inputs. Like I said, it can handle a 4 ohm load, no problem. Like no problem at all. 4 ohm load will be nothing. But if you're running 4 ohm speakers, do not run system 1 and system 2 at the same time. You can only get away with that if it's a quad system. Now, ironically enough, it has a Marantz TV repair tag on there. Now, Marantz TV is actually a Levittown-based business. In fact, Just Audio in Baltimore did a YouTube video in that store where they went and visited. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Just Audio. They're a little far from me, so I didn't make it down to the shop. There's also that one in Skylabs in the Midwest. I really want to check that out too. So FM quad radio output, that's completely useless nowadays. In fact, I think it was pretty much useless back in the day too. That was for quad FM broadcast. You would hook that to a demodulator or something like that, kind of like a CD4 turntable. And it would basically decode it into quad. And you would use something like, I'm not gonna, like this, what the hell model is it? It's a quadraphonic adapter. I actually bought to go along with this. It's a model 2440. So that would run off your tape monitor out, and then you'd be able to get your rear channels with that, and you'd be able to control the volume with the same unit. It's basically a overcomplicated and kind of fancy but kind of not fancy way of upgrading to quad sound without replacing your whole system. Exactly what it sounds like. It's a quad adapter. Here's your FM and AM antenna inputs. You have an unswitched and a switched AC outlet. Obviously, your switch should be for like a cassette deck or an 8-track deck or something with a power that has its own power switch. Unswitched obviously would be like a turntable that just works when you move your arm over. Tape 1 is a monitor circuit. So what that means is that you can either hook a cassette deck up to monitor your recordings, especially useful if it's a 3-head deck. Tape 2 does not have a monitor function. I'm a big fan of some of the bigger Marantzes because you can use the tape inputs as a monitor or an input, which is a very nice feature to have, especially if you're, well, with 8-tracks, it really don't matter because 8-track players never had a monitor circuit anyway. So you could hook your cassette up to tape 1 and your 8-track up to tape 2, an auxiliary input for a CD player or whatever the hell they were using back then for auxiliary. I wish they did have an extra auxiliary, like my Pioneer SX9000 over there has 2 auxiliaries. So I have the CD player hooked up to one input, and the tuner hooked up to the other because the tuner don't work. But I could also get an auxiliary cord. That way, if I have people over or whatever, if I'm feeling lazy and don't feel like running for CDs, I can just plug my phone into it. It's not my preferred way of listening. I don't do it very often, but it does have its place every now and again. And your turntable input with a ground. It looks like it has a 3-amp fuse here. That's probably for the... I'm not sure if that's for the unit itself or if that's for the switch. I kind of feel like that's probably for the switched. Yeah, 200 watt max and 60 watt max, so yeah. And this is a built-in AM antenna, obviously. But yeah, Marantz TV, 4532 New Falls Road, Levittown, PA, 19056, 215-945-8381. My old phone number when I lived in Levittown was 0405. There was 215-943-9446 and 215-946-2553 was another one. That's a long time ago. The memories. It's a shame how big of a toilet Levittown has become. That's why I'm up here in Schuylkill County now. I don't plan on leaving unless I ever freaking decide to go down south, which we were talking about for a while now. But there you go. So yeah, that's that. Thanks for watching, rockers, and I'll catch you the next time. Rock out. Take care of yourselves. Have a good rest of your week. Any questions, comments, or concerns, you know what to do. Drop a line in the comment box. Catch you next time, guys. Thanks for watching.